rest of their power centers. And your sexual energy is one of the things where your creativity comes from. It is how you procreate, it's how you create life, it's your magic. And many women don't tap into that. And in this program, you're going to tap into it. So, I want to encourage you to dress a little bit sexier, to feel into what it feels like to be a woman who walks past the mirror and be like, oh girl, who are you? It's going to change how you show up everywhere when you start allowing that part of you to come through. And for some of you, that might be a little bit difficult because you're like, I don't want to do what she's saying. I'm not telling you to go out there and start stripping on a pole. What I'm saying is for you to start feeling into that feeling of, what does it feel like to own my sexuality? Your sexuality is your power center. Money, power, sex, there's all connected. And if you don't access that part of you, you're leaving a lot of stuff on the table as far as the woman that you can become. And, a lot of women are afraid of that. And this is why they're not magnetic. This is why they're not really utilizing their power in a way that, can take them to that next level. They're afraid of it. A lot of women are afraid of that power. So I want you to ask yourself, what is it in me that's afraid to access that place? What is, where's there a part of me that is afraid to really fully own it? And if you can see it and you have like this power in you, why can't you access it yet? Why do you believe that you haven't been able to access it yet? Many women are, I've got it. I've got all the things. I just don't know why it's not connecting. You will find out in this program. You will see where there's gaps and why you haven't. But I really want you to ask yourself that question. Now, another thing that was a great shift for me is when I was starting to move into just being in an action mode and just moving through the to-do list and then starting to feel into my emotions. Because when you've got that armor and the shield on you, and if you've taken any of my other programs, I dive deep into this to clear it out. This is part of my deepest practice, is clearing away why your heart is closed. But one of the things that I want you to feel into is feeling. And instead of saying, I think, I want you to start using, I feel. It's going to seem very foreign to many of you women who are so cerebral, so cognitive, really brilliant minds, because you're like, my mind is my greatest gift. I believe that too with myself. I have 3 degrees. I've run several successful businesses. I'm a very smart woman, on all of the charts and any kind of tests you put me through, I'm at a genius status. I can't remember what my IQ is, but my EQ was extraordinarily high. So for many of you, the same. So for me, when I started this work, I was like, okay, I think a lot. I think a lot. But what about I feel? The more you can start connecting to I feel, you're going to start getting in alignment with your desires. Like, what do you want to create? How do you want to feel? And the more that you tap into that you're going to start having an emotion. Now, some people will say this, I feel successful. Okay, success is not an emotion. What does success make you feel like? Joy, happiness, satiated, whatever it is, excitement. You're going to have to go in and dig into what the emotion is. I teach this in all my programs. I go really deep into it, into accessing the quantum through emotional self-mastery, and also my mastermind, because this is where most women are stuck. So I want to give you a little bit of it right now so you can start opening up as you go through this program. Now, I feel is a completely different frequency than I think. And your thoughts are very, very important because we create with them. There's a vibrational frequency with your thoughts, but also your emotions. Now, just a little side note, whatever you're thinking can get trumped by whatever you're feeling. So if we can have the two coexist together and work towards the end result, then we've got some magic going, right? So this is where our desires come in faster, and it's super, super important. I want you to feel what it would be like to shine like you are the brightest diamond out there, like you are that star out there. Like, what would it feel like for you to be like that? And that sometimes that's, that's a little like uncomfortable, because you're like, I do want to be seen, but what if I am fully seen? What will happen then? So what would happen if you were fully seen? If you were, really in your magic, and someone's like, wow. And this is why women who take this program start attracting men and women and everybody. And like, I remember some of the gals that took it the first round, they're like, I don't know what you did to us, but we cannot get the men off of us. The men are coming out of everywhere. And one of the gals, a couple of them, they're married, they were getting pregnant. They were, this was like a couple years ago, and it does happen in my containers. But the men, you can't keep the men off of you, because you're just so magnetic, because you're activating this feminine energy in a way that you never have before. So you're allowing this deeper guidance to come through for you. So ask yourself, are you ready for that attention? Are you ready to be fully seen? Are you ready to be a woman who is that woman that walks in the room and everybody's like, who's that lady? So a lot of us were told we were too much. And I actually taught about this in my mastermind last night about the feminine wounding. And most of the times, we're criticized by our mothers, and we're criticized by the female. And what that does is it brings us this feminine wounding. And this feminine wounding, when we're criticized by our mothers, we start to lose faith in who we are. We feel less than, we sabotage ourselves. And being in that critical state creates the feminine wounding, which creates, I don't want to be fully seen. You might have this badass person on the other side of you, but then there's this other little girl in you that's like, I don't want everybody to see me, because what if I do it wrong? What if I mess up? And then so you close down your emotions, and you don't want to be fully seen. And then you start protecting yourself with the masculine, shield. And then we've got this cycle that just keeps going on over and over again. Like, how do I break it? So, when you ask yourself, am I ready for that attention? Whose voice are you going to hear that's going to come to you and be like, who do you think you are? You're acting too much. Simmer down. Don't be seen. Don't act up too much. Is it your mom? Is it the feminine, your dad? Is it somebody who is, has said critical things to you, a girlfriend, somebody in your life from the feminine side that's created a wound in you where it does not feel safe to be seen? And, when you have a deep feminine wound, you will be hypersensitive to all comments. Everything you will take personal. It'll be always a personal thing. As a mentor, I do say things to some of my clients, and I already know when the women have a reaction like that, they've got a deep wound that has to come out, but it's at their own timing that wants to come out. But when they come after me, or they say that I've done it, I realize that they have not done the work yet to get to the place where they realize that the wound's already been there forever, and it's time to move it out. You're going to understand why I'm talking about all of this, because you have to do this deep work first before we get into all of the practical things of this program. Because I could teach you all the strategic, all the things to do, but until you understand what's underlying right here inside of you that has been a resistance for you, that has created a barrier for you to get to that next level, it doesn't matter what I teach you strategy-wise, because you're still going to be butting up against the same stuff consciously or subconsciously. So, going to be a lot of clearing. Feel everything. Allow yourself to feel everything. Be true to who you are. Like, your magic is not what you know. Your magic is who you be. This indoctrination of the next level you is coming through in this program. And you have to be willing to just be a woman who is here and available. A lot of us were raised to wear a mask. And the mask is, I can't see any of your comments, by the way, if you guys are commenting. I don't know why. A lot of us were raised to wear a mask, and the mask comes from being criticized. So when you have that feminine wounding from your mom criticizing you, and then the masculine is not present and safe there from your dad, really showing you protection. You've got someone attacking you. You're trying to create your own shield. And at the same time, you're now afraid to show up and be yourself, because how dare you do that? Then people might not really like you. And it hurts if someone's coming to say things to you, and you're trying to be as true as you can be, and your authenticity is not being welcomed. I'm inviting you to basically take this mask off and stop worrying about what people think about you. It's easier said than done, but the more and more you do it, the easier it gets. You've got to be able to, show up in such a bold way, especially those of you that are running an online business. You've got to be able to come forward and, really clear away who you are. And most of the modules that are going to be coming up, they are catering you